Hi students, welcome to my kitchen. This time around I want to walk you through the banana chocolate chip muffin recipe, and you'll find a recipe on my homework page, so you'll want to print that off please. Before we get started, we've got a few little steps to get organized. You can see I'm wearing my apron and I have my hair covered, so you should do the same, or if your hair's lying, if you tie it back. And of course you want to wash your hands. And we want to do a good thorough job washing our hands. Soap, warm water, and be very thorough please. Okay. Alright, get that done. Next up we want to preheat our oven. So checking our recipe, 375 is our temperature. So we want to press bake and 375 and start. Okay, so hopefully your oven is similar to that. Now, we're going to start off with measuring out the dry ingredients. I didn't get to go over how to measure properly with you guys, so I'm going to cover that today as we are doing our muffins, since there's lots of measuring. But when it comes to measuring, basically you have three tools that you can use. Okay, you have your dry measuring cups, your liquid measuring cup, and your small measuring spoons. Okay, so these, your measuring cups, are used for measuring large amounts of dry ingredients. The larger amounts of liquid ingredients, you'd use your glass measuring cup, and then you have your spoons for measuring small amounts of either. Okay, so if you have something, say 25 mils or less, you're going to be using your spoons. All right. Alright, so we're going to start off by measuring out the dry ingredients. And I'm going to take my larger bowl for this. I have them separated on the recipe, so it should be easy for you to follow. And the first thing we're asked for is 250 mils of grain wafer crumbs, or 1 cup. So I'm going to measure that out. So that's about a cup. That should be very good. Next up, we have 175 mils of flour, or 3/4 of a cup. Now, the proper way for measuring ingredients like this, it's recommended that you fill your measuring tool, or measuring cup, so it's overflowing. And then you take a straight edge. So I'm going to use the back of a butter knife. In school I have a proper straight edge, but at home I don't have one of those. I'm just going to use the back of my butter knife, okay, to sweep off the extra. So that gives me a very accurate amount of my flour. Now the next thing I'm asked for is my brown sugar. I didn't take that one out yet. And I'm asked for 125 mils, or 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to fill up my measuring cup here, 125 mils. And you want to pack the brown sugar in there. Brown sugar is such that you want to pack it down to make sure you're getting a sufficient amount. Okay, so that should be good. Oh, there we go, 125 mils of brown sugar. Now we're asked for 5 mils or a teaspoon of baking powder. So here's my baking powder. And again, this is a small amount now. The remaining 3 dry ingredients are what we would call small amounts, just 5 mils or 1 mil. So I'm going to use my small measures. I'm going to have my spoon overflowing and sweep off the extra to give me the accurate amount. Okay, so that's my baking powder. Now my baking soda, again I need 5 mils or 1 teaspoon. I kind of use the lid of the box to sweep that off and give me the accurate measure. That might be cheating a little bit, but you won't tell on me, right? Okay, and finally, salt. 1 teaspoon. Sorry, 1 ml or 1/4 of a teaspoon. So, that's the oven ready. So here we go. There we are. So now we have all of our dry ingredients ready. Okay. So I'm going to stir that up. I like to use a fork as much as anything. I find a fork allows me to mash up the brown sugar. Okay. If need be, if there's any lumps in there. Okay. And our hands are nice and clean, so we can break up any of those brown sugar lumps if need be. Alright, I think we're getting pretty good there now. Give that a good stir. Just get a few of those last lumps of brown sugar. Alright, so that's our dry ingredients. Now, next up, we're going to get our wet ingredients ready. Okay, so that's going to involve our bananas. Now, I started mashing the banana already. I want to point out to you that my bananas look like this when I started, and I know in class sometimes students will say, Miss, those bananas are no good, but the riper your banana, the better it is for baking. It's going to add more moisture, more flavor to your baking. Alright, so I started this up already. So you want to mash your bananas. And I use 2 of those. So that's looking good. Next up, I'm going to break my egg into a second bowl. Now I'm getting ready to mix my wet ingredients. So here goes my egg. Put that in there, and I'll give that a little whisk. Okay. Next, I'm asked to add in my vegetable oil. Now, when it comes to measuring your vegetable oil, it's a liquid. It's a large amount. We're asked for 125 mils or half a cup. So we're going to use our liquid measuring cup. Now the rules for using our liquid measuring cup is your liquid measuring cup should be on a flat surface and you should be at eye level. Okay? This calls for half a cup or 125 mils of vegetable oil. I've been experimenting with cutting that back a little bit, okay, just to make it a little bit better for us, a little less oil. So I'm going to actually put a little less than that. But you can certainly measure out the half cup if you feel better about it, but I'm just going to go a little bit less than that, okay? Just a tiny bit less so you can see where I've measured mine. Now I'm going to add that into my egg. Okay. And now I'm going to add my banana to that. I'm going to stir that all together. So now we've completed steps 1, we've completed steps 2, and now we're asked to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. Just going to grab a spatula here. You want to get all that good moisture. Okay, so we want to stir this all together now. Adding the wet to the dry. you should be seeing a mixture something like this. All right. Now it's time for us to add in our chocolate chips. Now it calls for 175 mils of chocolate chips, or 3/4 of a cup. I always put in a cup, or 250 mils, because I figure the more chocolate the better. Ooh. My daughter's laughing at me. Okay, we'll try that again. All right, that's a few for the cup there. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we add those in and give it a stir. I'm going to use my spatula again now just to make sure I have it all the way down to the bottom stirred up. See, I still got a tiny bit of flour there. Alright, so our mixture is ready to go in the muffin pan. Alright, now tidy up here a little bit. I got quite the mess going on. Okay guys, next up we want to spray our muffin tins. And now we want to spoon our batter into our muffin pan. And guys, you want to have your muffins evenly distributed throughout the 12 tins, or 12 muffin pan here. I know sometimes you guys like to make gigantic muffins, but I would recommend making 12 equal size muffins, okay? So you just want to spoon up so much and scrape it. Just one spoonful like this in each one. If you have leftovers after, you can go and add it in. Alright, so now I can go back and add in where I feel there's space, spreading it out evenly. Okay, I think we're getting there. Alright guys, so once you have your muffin pans filled, now we want to get them in the oven. And our oven's preheated. I'm going to take out my oven mitts. Okay, and we're going to put the door all the way down. Excuse me, Misty. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to put the door all the way down and put our muffins in. Remember, you want the door all the way down so you don't run the chance of it closing up and burning your arm. Okay, now we want to set our timer. So I'm going to set the timer here, and in your recipe it says 15 to 18 minutes. In school, they always take 18 minutes. But if you have a hot oven, why don't we try them after 15? So when your timer goes, you want to use a tester, or if you have a skewer or something like that. If they look like they're done to you, put the skewer in. If it comes out with batter on the skewer, you know they're not done. They need to go back in. If this comes out clean, you know they're done. And then you can take them and put them out onto a cooling rack. Okay? Before you go, I wanted to say a few words about cleanup. So we can't leave our work as that. You have to do your cleanup. So remember, we need some nice hot soapy water. Okay, I like to use a dishpan, but you follow suit with what your family does. All right, so you want a nice pan full of hot soapy dishwater for washing up your dishes. No cold water, please. Give things a rinse. If you have a dishwasher that you can use, great. But otherwise, you're going to hand wash your dishes. So lay everything here by the sink and get ready to do your wash up. And you want to wring out your cloth in nice hot soapy water and wipe down your space where you were cooking. Okay, leave everything nice and clean, just the way you found it, or even better. I'll put those ingredients away now shortly, but make sure to wash down your space. Okay. And then you're going to start washing your dishes. So washing your dishes in the nice hot soapy water and rinsing them and putting them in the tray to dry. Okay, so hopefully that's been a help to you guys now to get you started with doing your chocolate chip muffins. I hope you have success. I hope you really enjoy them. And I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.